This is Nick with Sunrise Harvest Pheasant Farm, and in this episode, I'm going to be putting blinders on 7-week-old ringneck pheasants. Alright, so today I'm going to be putting blinders with pins on the 7-week-old birds. Before I do that, though, I do want to make people aware that there are different types of blinders or anti-pecking devices that are on the market. We'll start off with these two here. This is more for your maximizing blindness. I wouldn't really use this, in my opinion, on younger birds. More older, especially if you're tight on space and they're really pecking each other. These ones are a little bit more hard to find, but I've used this for a few seasons. What I've noticed over the years of using these, but I've discontinued them, is that the males do better than the females, and I'd have to put these on the males around 10-week-olds. With these ones here, you can actually put them on 5, 6, 7, 8-week-olds. It just depends on your preference and the situation that you're in, but the youngest would be 5 weeks on those. The youngest on these, I mean, it really depends. Like I said before, I put them on 20-week-olds plus. So, and these ones about 10-week-olds. They're different types, but they all do the same thing. With these kinds, these ones are a little bit more flimsy. They take a beating more with the sun. These ones, they're more rounded, so they don't get caught up in the flight pens. I have 2-inch netting on my flight pens, and these work pretty well. These ones kind of get caught up every once in a while, but they still do the job. As long as you have cover, and you have to kind of watch every once in a while. Especially in the mornings, if you see a bird hanging from the net, a 2-inch net, that's not unusual. Happens every once in a while. And then, since I said we're going to be using the pins, I get these by the thousands. These are actually pretty sturdy, not bad. This is a one-time use. To take them off, you have to use the toenail clippers. So one-time use, multi-use with all of those, or you can use the clips. I'm going to be honest, I've never used these before, but it just seems like too much work. So I've kind of stayed away from it. And then there's clip-on ones as well. Never used that because I've already had a few thousand of these and I don't want to start all over and get a few thousand of the ones that didn't have clips. So they were just kind of snap-on the nostril, so that's interesting, but I just haven't had the time to mess around with that. So I'm going to put some blinders on some 7-week-olds and show you how that's done. Alright, so this is our 7-week-old pheasant. This is a cockbird. You can tell it's a cockbird by just the coloring that's coming in on here. It's the male colors. And then a good indicator are the spurs. Spurs are coming in. So you can usually identify male, female by at least 5 weeks based on the spurs. People also look at the eyes. Darker in color, so either way you look at it, you can tell at least by 5 weeks. All right, so back to putting on the peepers. Usually when I put them on, I want to make sure that you don't let the bird loose and fly away. I'll normally hold them, since I'm right-handed. I'm going to be putting the blinder in my right hand and then holding the bird in my left. And then I pre-pin these so that it's a lot easier for me to handle them. And then I hold them up against my chest and I put them in the nostril, and you're just going to put it right through. Now don't be scared to push through. It's just kind of like getting your ears pierced or getting a shot. It's just make it real quick. Put it through, put it on the other side. And there you go. That's it. So they'll be okay. They'll get used to it. If you're a little squeamish at first, it'll be okay. Just push through. But yeah, there you go. Now, I'm happy with this batch that I have that are 7-week-olds. They've shown no signs of being cannibalistic, but every batch is just a little bit different, so you have to adjust accordingly. I try to keep my areas a little bit darker, enough adequate air and space to minimize those stress levels. All right, I'll put this one away, and then I'll go get a hen and show you the difference on that. All right, so here's our hen. Eyes a little different than the cockbird, not as dark. Coloring on the feathers, a little bit lighter, and no spurs. Have these little nubs here. That's just about as big as they'll get. All right. So once again, hold the bird up against your chest, hold the head, and go straight through on the pin, real quick. Now, just kind of put a little bit more pressure on this portion here, because, you know, they may move a little bit. And you want to be in an enclosed area just in case they do fly away. And there you go. Now, when putting the blinders on too, just kind of make sure that you have more feeders, more waters, so that they can adjust accordingly. And then when you get the bird and you want to take them off, use your clipper, clip the end, this you can reuse. This is a one and done. That's it. So since I need the pin on there, just put another one on. All right, so there you have it. This is how you put on blinders or peepers, whatever you want to call them, anti-pecking devices on these types of birds, the ringnecks at 7-week-olds. These guys I'll keep them on them for about a week, and then I'll put them in the fly pen at 8-week-olds, and then pretty much take it from there. Wait for the full 20-week for them to mature out. If you have any questions, feel free to comment at the bottom. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and then the next video, there'll be more to come, so just kind of keep on the lookout, ring that bell if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you next time. This is Nick with Sunrise Harvest Pheasant Farm. Take care.